Good evening or good afternoon, good morning, depending on whenever you're watching this. Hi. So it is time for my Thursday sessions. I love these. I really love long form content where I can actually get deep and speak to people and really cover some ground. So today I'm going to be speaking to Novella from Naturally Crowned UK. I'm really excited about this conversation because it's a bit of a departure from what I'm used to. You know, my area is kind of wellness, healing, spiritual, you know, just that kind of zone, whereas this is much more business, because Novella has an incredible business that I can't wait for you to hear about, and I want you to hear about her journey. But I think it's so relevant because I've just finished another program, and a lot of what the women that I'm speaking to are looking for is that autonomy, is that financial freedom. So I think it's going to be so totally inspiring to hear about Novella's journey and how she did it and what are the challenges, and just to give us the real tea on how her journey has come on so far. So I'm just going to bring her up. Yes. Hey Abby, hey, welcome. Great to have you here.
Hey.
Hi Novella, how you doing?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, I'm really good, thanks. I'm all good. I was just saying that I think this is going to be really interesting because I feel like there's a big wave of women who are like, you know what? I want out of the rat race. I want out of asking to when I can book my holiday. I want out of asking for my toilet breaks. So I think it's really powerful to see women like you who are doing it with children, understanding your drivers and how you got to where you're at. But before we jump into it, please, can you tell us a bit about what you do and what your business is?
Yeah, sure. So, hi everyone. Nice to virtually meet you. So, my name is Novella. I am the founder of Naturally Crowned UK, and I basically help moms go from, frustrated, overwhelmed, feeling like a failure because they don't know how to care for their children's natural hair, to feeling, happy, proud, accomplished, and confidently caring for their children's natural hair. And the main thing is that so that they can teach their children to love their hair themselves unapologetically, so they can change their children's hair story, and so that we can create new generational cycles. That's in a nutshell what I do.
So important, building those bridges from what
Mm-hmm.
has been lost, re-falling in love with our hair, re-falling in love with our
Yep.
curls, understanding the specific care and attention that it needs. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, it's such a gift that you're giving to us by walking us through it, holding our hands and letting us know. I love this because it's so niche, and it's I think that's what successful businesses are really keying into. One, a niche, and two, solving a problem. If we
Yep.
don't have those two things, then we might need to think a little bit deeper. But I think so.
You don't really have a business, right?
Yeah. So it's really cool. So it makes sense that it's thriving.
Thank you.
Yeah, so I want to get into your journey of being a business mum. So what did you do before you had a business? Like, let's ground it in like civilian life, so you're relatable.
Yeah.
What did you do before?
Okay, so before this, I had another business. But before that business, I was working in an IT company. I was a business development manager. That was my role. So I've always been into IT sales. So I've been in the IT sales industry for 12 years. And my last role in that kind of environment was a business development manager.
Okay. No, that makes sense. I'm interested in you saying you had another business before this, because I also want to underline the fact that it takes time to develop. Like, you probably are going to need to cut your teeth on something, and it's really about continuing down the road, like, because you have to learn the mistakes, and people shouldn't be afraid to fail, because failure is part of the process. If anything, you want to
Exactly.
fail and fail fast. Get those first few failures out the way. Don't be scared of them.
Exactly.
Go through
Exactly.
it. Bust your head and learn from it.
Exactly. So my business before this, I was actually selling plus size lingerie.
Okay, girl. Okay, sis.
Completely, completely different to this. But I thought that was my passion. I thought that's what I was supposed to be doing, because I'm quite busty myself, and I know the struggles of having a big bust. And so yeah, I created a company. It's called Alavon Lingerie. Basically, my name turned backwards. So Alavon Novella, Alavon Lingerie, and it's specialized in D to double K cups. And that's what I was doing. I did that for 5 years while I was still working a full-time job, but I wasn't making any impact in this world. Like, no one knew me. I was making a very, very small impact, probably like a little raindrop here and there. But I still felt like something was missing. Like, I wasn't living my purpose. I still felt like I was just, I know, I'm just in this life, just going with the flow. And I don't want to be in this life going with the flow. Like, I have a purpose. I'm on a mission. Like, God didn't bring me into this world or create me to just go with the flow. No, I have a purpose in this life. So that business, after 5 years, my husband actually, he was just like, you've been doing this for a while. It's not really going anywhere. Either get help or close it down, because you're not making any profit. You know, I have to buy the lingerie and sell it. I'm not getting enough sales. I'm not making money. I'm still working a 9 to 5. So like, what's the point? Deep down, that really did hurt me, because like I said, I thought it was my purpose. I thought it was my passion. It was something I really cared about, to be honest. And I was good at doing it. But it didn't go nowhere. It didn't go nowhere. So I had to say goodbye.
Wow.
And just focus on my full-time job.
Wow, I love that reality check, and I'm sure you learned a lot of lessons from that journey, right? Loads of lessons from that journey. I want to circle back. I can see someone here is just mentioning what I wanted to pick up on. Yes, live your purpose, because so many of the women, such a huge part of the work that I do is working with women who are feeling that kind of stuckness, that frustratedness, that kind of going through the motions of life. And yeah, sometimes it does take a lot of work, because even knowing that you're not on your path is good enough information that you should just start making some movements, you know. Don't just plow on knowing that something is right, because something isn't right, because when we just evacuate ourselves is when we become ghosts, just moving forward, and it doesn't feel very nice. You know in your soul that this isn't what it is for you. So just listen and honor it in small incremental ways. I'm not saying jump off a cliff, but we need to learn to start honoring ourselves, because there's a guidance system within us that's never gonna steer us right. So we just need to get better practiced at trusting it, and it's a process. It's definitely a process. So what was the transition from salary to self-employed like for you?
I would say it was destined to happen. As soon as I found my purpose, it was destined to happen. Let me just give you a bit of a backstory. So I said to you guys that I was living life, just going through life, just going with the flow. And one of my prayers was that, you know, I kept praying to God that, God, help me to find my purpose. Like, I really can't keep living like this. I want to find my purpose. I want to make an impact. And even in like my previous roles, my managers, they would always say to me, Novella, you're here, but you're not here. It's like, I can't see the drive or the passion in you. And that used to really piss me off sometimes. I'm like, what do you want me to do? Like, I'm quite a chilled person. So when they'll say I can't see the hunger, the drive, the passion, like I'll be hitting my sales goals, I'll be doing well at work, but they don't see they're not seeing something from me. It's like they want to see more. And I'm like, this is all I have to give. And the reason why is because I was there for the money. I didn't care about anything else, to be honest. I didn't care about the actual company. I couldn't give a damn who the company was. I didn't care about the company. I didn't care about the actual products that I was talking to clients about. I didn't care about it. It's not my father's business. I'm sorry, but I didn't care about it, you know. And I think they could see. Obviously, when I was speaking to clients, they wouldn't see it. Obviously, I would get my sales. You know, I was hitting my targets, everything. But my management, who were close to me, they could see that something was missing. And obviously, for me as well, I knew I wasn't happy in being in a 9 to 5. I knew that wasn't my purpose. I knew I was more creative. I knew I had more to offer this world. So like I said, I was really praying. I said to God, please help me to find my purpose. So after I had my firstborn, my daughter, who is 5 now, when I had her, I returned back to work after maternity leave, still feeling sorry for myself, still feeling bad. I have to even return back to my 9 to 5. And then I had my son and things started to change. So when he was about, I would say like around 3, 4 months, I kept getting the same messages from different people, from friends, from family members. They would say to me, Novella, your daughter's hair is like really beautiful. Like, what are you doing to her hair? And I'd be like, you know, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. And then they would be like, so why don't you start an Instagram or even a YouTube and just share what you're doing with her hair? Because like, I really want to know, I'm interested. And I felt to myself, like, this is kind of common knowledge. I don't know, like, who would be interested to know how I take care of my daughter's hair? And I was just like, okay, cool. And then another person within that same time frame, another person will say to me, Novella, how do you take care of your hair? Maybe you should start a YouTube channel. And I was just like, do you know what? Something is happening here. And then one night I was on YouTube and some woman came on YouTube. She's actually my coach and mentor now. But her YouTube video came and it was how to start a YouTube channel. That was the first video I saw. And I was like, God, you're trying to tell me something. You're trying to tell me something. So I watched a couple of her videos and I was just like, okay. But then the thing with YouTube is I'm not that kind of person that wants to be out there. I thought I like to be behind the scenes. I was just like, I don't want to be on YouTube. That's not what I want. Like, I don't want people seeing my face. I just want to type stuff on Instagram, post it, and just go about my business. Like, I don't want to be out there like that because that's just not my personality. I'm very reserved. I'm more behind the scenes. I don't want to be seen, if that makes sense. But I'm a friendly person. I can talk to anyone because of the background I come from. I come from an IT sales background. So I know how to speak to people, but I don't necessarily want to be out there. So after watching that YouTube video now, and things started clicking. When my son was 6 months, doing my research, everything, I decided to, you know, start an Instagram page, started documenting my daughter's, you know, hair journey. Also started to record some YouTube videos eventually. And then it hit me that, you know, in 6 months' time, I'm going back to my 9 to 5, the place that I hated, the place that would literally physically make me feel sick on my way to work.
Oh my goodness.
I would have to return there. And
the
that
best life
thought,
on maternity. You were just enjoying your being in your creative element.
Exactly. And I've never been in that creative element because I didn't even know I could even be creative. So another prayer, I went to God. I said, God, I have to go back to this 9 to 5. Now I have 2 children. I want to be with my children. I want to see them grow. I want to be able to, you know, take them to school. I want to be able to pick them up. I want to be able to watch their assemblies, their performances. I want to be there. I want to go back to work. Literally, I was in tears. And I said, God, I wrote it down in my planner, what I wanted to achieve. I got some images from Google of a mother holding her baby and a laptop. I stuck it in my planner. And then I said, God, I'm giving myself 1 year. If I go back 1 year, I want to be out of that place, please. So I went back to work. My son was 1. Went back to work again. I felt miserable. Went back to work, and lo and behold, 10 months in, my manager calls me with the HR manager into the office, and he said to me, look, Novella, I'm going to give you 2 options, okay? Either you leave the company, or you can stay and you're not going to hit your performance matrix, and then we're going to fire you. So either you leave, we'll give you 3 months salary. That will give you enough time to find another job, or you stay. What is your choice?
Wow.
And I was like, excuse me. Like, what? I know I hate this place, but what is this? But then my manager, she was just like, Novella, I know you're not happy here. You are not
Wow.
happy. I know you don't want to be here. I know you want to be with your kids. Like, I know you're not happy. And I was just like, all right, okay, I will take the first option. I'm going to leave with that and I'll go. But the funny thing is that I wasn't scared at all. I felt so much peace,
Wow.
so much peace. Like, I wasn't thinking, oh my God, what am I going to do like next month? How long am I going to take to find another job? Like, that wasn't even on my mind. I just felt at peace. And
Yeah.
I know that was God,
Yeah.
because
That's how
if
you
it
know.
wasn't, exactly, if it wasn't for them telling me that, I would still be there today, to be honest, because I
Yeah.
wouldn't have
Yeah.
had the guts
Yeah.
to
Because
leave.
we're so dutiful. Us mums,
Exactly.
we will suffer. We're
Exactly.
brought
And I
up to
have bills to
suffer for
pay.
your
I have a
family.
mortgage. Yeah, I have
We,
bills to pay. I have a mortgage. I have 2 kids. What am I going to tell my husband? He saw me with my last business, and all of a sudden you will leave because what? You think you're a hairdresser. That's what he used to say. You want to be a hairdresser. He didn't really understand. Um, so how can I even tell him that, I'm quitting my job to do this hair stuff?
oh my
It's
God.
not
God bless that
possible.
manager. God bless
It would
that
have taken me,
manager.
I probably still would have left, but it would have taken me maybe 5 years longer than it should have. But
Sometimes the
hmm
stars just align and it is like,
exactly,
this is your sign. Even if that means I need to kick you out of this plane, you're jumping.
exactly.
Like,
And God kicked me out. He kicked because he knows me. He knows that I wouldn't have left at that time, and he made me. It was 10 months, literally 10 months into my return to work, and I left, and I've never looked back. Never looked back.
wow. Wow.
Never looked
Okay.
back.
So this is really interesting. I feel like, because you're right. If you didn't get that absolute kick of the plane, you probably would still be in there hating life. But I
And
want
who
more
even says that?
women.
What HR manager are they even allowed to say such a thing?
I know, but it was a blessing. It was
That's
such a
what I'm saying. Yeah.
blessing. So I'm like, how do women? I'm trying to think how it happened for me. I think I just set my date. My body was like, you get out of here. It's too much.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
things, it was a nice place to work. I had a
yeah, yeah,
lovely
yeah,
job. Like, my job was
yeah.
cushy. Like, they couldn't, I left when I needed to leave. Anything I had to do with the children I could do.
Mhm,
It just wasn't me. It just wasn't in alignment with where I needed to be. I wasn't living up to
mhm,
my purpose. I
mhm,
knew that I
mhm.
wasn't living to my full potential. And then obviously being in institutions, it was
Yeah,
already just, oh,
exactly,
I want to be fully
exactly,
authentic. I want to be all the way me,
exactly,
all the
exactly,
way me. So
exactly.
I took the plunge, but it was scary. It was scary, and I
Mhm.
probably but I definitely had years where I've kind of kept one foot in, like, oh, I want to do something, but I'll keep my,
Yeah.
I'll have plan B here. And I was always half doing what I was doing. And it was
Yeah.
only until I took the leap that, I was able
Mhm.
to make that transition. And to be honest, it was tough. And without my partner's support, it would have been probably not really that doable, but
Yeah.
it took a lot of consideration. But boy,
Mhm.
I feel happier in my heart, and you know, it's been it was a good decision, let's just say. um
I mean, you
but
mentioned your partner. When I got home that day, so they let me go. It was like lunchtime, and they let me go, and I was just like, oh, my laptop, my stuff. When can I come back and collect it? And he was like, you don't need to come back. And I was just like, okay, all right, I won't then. So I didn't ever return to get anything. I literally just left. That was my last day. So I got home, and then I spoke to my husband. I was just like, this is what's happened. So I don't have a job anymore. And he was just like, okay, cool. Give yourself 6 months and let me see if this hair stuff you're doing is going to work. If it does work, then continue to. And the way my husband is, he needs to see the financial gains before he's like, yeah, go and do it. He's not a risk taker, that kind of person, especially when it comes to like paying bills, mortgages. Like, we're not risking anything here. But for some reason, for him as well, he was just like, yeah, give yourself 6 months, put everything into it, and then if it works out, great. If it doesn't, then you have to go back. And I was just like, okay.
Do you know
So
what?
this is really you then. This
This
is
is,
you. I mean,
oh, what a lovely, I love that he doubled your deadline, because 3 months is a good amount of time, but
yeah,
then he
yeah,
gave
yeah,
you 6. But you know
yeah.
what? This is what I say to the women that I work with, like, having that deadline and having that pressure
Mhm,
is what you need, because as I was saying, before, it took me years before I actually
mhm.
jumped two-footed into becoming a full-time coach, or
Yeah,
running
yeah.
my CIC, or doing what I'm doing. It took
Mhm,
it took it took a long time, but the moment it was like do or die is when I
mhm.
got serious, and I was like, okay, so how much do I actually need to make per month? How much am I
Good
actually
point.
going to need to sustain this?
Good
And
point.
once I'd
Mhm.
had my number and I had the dates that I had to make it by, all of a sudden I was able to do it. But I spent
Let's do it. Yeah,
years
yeah,
being on this salary, this
yeah.
good salary, and
Mhm.
obviously not hitting any of my business targets because I didn't need to. I was just
Yeah,
happy posting on Instagram,
yeah,
and
yeah,
that
yeah.
was my business. I was
That
just,
was
yeah.
it. Exactly.
But when you get serious, when
Funny
you
you
put,
say that about figures, because for me, at the time I left, well, they kicked me out. At the time they kicked me out, I was making, from my business, I was making half of my salary. So I knew that, okay, if I'm making half of my salary working in 9 to 5, and the only time I work on my business is from around 9 to about 3, 4 a.m., and I'll be up
wow,
at 6 a.m. So
oh,
if I'm working that time and I'm making half of my salary, then if I'm home full time, then at least I should be making my salary that I'm getting currently. So knowing those figures, like you said, knowing your figures, I was able to
yeah,
put my head down and get to work. But of course, because I knew this was my purpose, things were aligning, things were just so easy for me. Not easy, sorry guys. Not easy, but smooth. Things were smooth. I didn't have to force it. I didn't have to force it because this is what I'm supposed to be doing. This is my purpose.
amen, amen. I've got a question for you.
Mm.
Do you feel like you work even harder now? Because I find with businesses you don't have the same boundaries. Like at work, it's like I finish at 5. Bye.
I'll
But
pluck it out. Yeah. No, I have never worked this hard in my life for any company. I'm telling you, I have never. I thought when I'm working for other companies, 5 o'clock, even by 4:30, I'm packing my stuff. I've literally checked out. I'm packing my stuff slowly. When it hits 5, my jacket's on and I'm out.
she said
I'm out.
she's slowly packing her stuff at 4:30.
Yeah,
That's
yeah. I'm shutting things down. I'm going. I'm leaving. But with this business, I'm telling you, I have never worked this hard in my entire life. I didn't even think I had this in me to work this hard. But the great thing is that this isn't work for me. It
mm,
isn't. I don't feel like I'm working.
yeah, I feel you.
You know, like I always say to people, I'm on a mission. This isn't about, you know, how to let your children's hair grow long. You know, it isn't about that. Yes, that's a bonus that comes with it. But my mission is to make sure that every child, you know, loves and accepts their hair, loves themselves unapologetically, has a different hair story, because my hair story as a child wasn't good. I hated my natural hair. I didn't want to see it. I wanted it gone away. I wanted my hair relaxed. That's what I wanted. And
Mm,
some people might say, but it's just hair, Novella. It's not a big deal. It was a big deal because to me, I didn't feel pretty. I wanted
mm,
long hair. So
mhm,
for me, my hair was all about my confidence. And I didn't have much confidence because I didn't like my hair, you
mhm,
know? So it's not just about hair. It's
mhm,
about changing hair stories, changing generational cycles. I don't want my child to look in the mirror and think she's ugly because of hair that God gave her.
mm.
Why? You
Oh,
know, I don't want to be that mom, like my mom, not knowing how to care for my hair. You
yeah.
know, my mom, she tried her best, to be honest. She tried her best with what
Mm,
she knew. But
mhm,
because she didn't know how to care for my hair, I went through a lot of pain while she was doing my hair.
mhm,
A lot of tears, you know, a lot of frustration for my mom.
mhm.
I didn't want to be that mom for my children.
Yeah.
So for me, there's a
Mhm.
bigger mission. It's not
Oh,
just a, even recently, someone said to me, your daughter's hair is bum length. What's your goal? Like, what more do you want? And I was just like, it isn't about her length. I don't care if her hair goes down to the floor. My purpose is that she loves herself unapologetically. I don't want anyone to
mm,
tell her that she's ugly for her to believe it.
mm,
No.
mm.
My daughter, you cannot tell her she's ugly. She's beautiful.
I love
She's
it. I love it.
beautiful. And
This is
she wears her
so
crown of pride.
it's so important. It's so important because, especially in my line of work, like the esteem issues that we're facing as a
Hmm.
community, like that
Hmm.
is honestly the root cause. There's so much of the problems we're
It
facing,
is.
and we
It
kind of
is.
do the work of the people that would oppress us. We kind of
Yeah.
have this internal kind of self-loathing, whether it becomes from the fact that we're not
Hmm.
liking what we see in the mirror, the fact that we don't speak up in meetings, the fact that we don't, all of this is just compounded on the issue of we have learned to not love ourselves. And I feel
Hmm.
like there's a generation coming now, it's been a long time coming, but like you say, our parents weren't necessarily equipped with the knowledge because their
Yeah.
parents were on a mission of assimilation. And you
Yeah.
know, I feel like our parents were also just trying to assimilate, just trying to keep a low profile and get by, you know. So, and that included, you know, making yourself smaller and straighter and slimmer and
Yeah.
aligning with whatever
Yeah.
the dominant culture is. And here we are
Hmm.
now, the children of that philosophy, and we realize how much it has affected us. And that's what my work is. This is where my why is, my, because I know the journey that I went on, and I had to really heal from low self-esteem because the stuff I
Hmm.
was attracting, and it all stemmed from the fact that I just didn't feel good enough. I just didn't
Yeah.
feel beautiful
Yeah.
enough. I even, all the grades, all the good results I got in school, uni, my
You
academic
just
career,
still weren't
none of
there.
that
Yeah.
mattered. I
Yeah.
wasn't worthy because I didn't
Hmm.
look like that girl who is,
Exactly.
yeah. And so it goes back to something so deep. So it's not, it's never just hair. It's so not
It's
just
not
hair.
just her.
No.
No, it's not. It's deeper than that. It's deeper than that. And that's why even I go so hard. That's why I'm so passionate about it because I know my why. If my
Mm,
why was just so
mm,
my daughter could get long hair,
mm,
she went past long hair time ago.
mm,
She's at bum length. I would have stopped since I got to my goal, but it isn't just about that. That's a bonus. It's a benefit, yeah, that comes with it, with what I'm doing to her hair and everything. But there's a bigger why. And that's why I'm doing it. And that's why I share so much. That's why I'm so passionate to help other mums because
mm,
I know the
mm.
significance of once that child has that confidence, the sky is the limit. The sky
Honestly,
is the limit.
yeah.
And we have crowns. We need to hold our head up high and wear our crowns with pride.
Mm,
And yeah, that's my mission.
mm. I love it. Preach, 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 preach. I love it so much. Yeah, so a couple of things I want to pick up on. Yes,
Hmm.
why? So any mums that are on this live thinking about setting up your own business, if it is just to make some extra change, then be clear about that, because that's what it will be. If it is
Yeah.
actually to make some impact in the world, if it is actually connected to
Hmm.
something that is deep and personal and you feel called to do it, then really,
Hmm.
really dig deep for that why, and really, really
Hmm.
make that be your mission. Because having a
Exactly.
why as I just want to make some money on the side versus I have a mission to
Hmm.
impact this on a wider scale, even if it is in this small way, you know,
Hmm.
because you need your why, because this journey is not easy, and there will
No,
be times when you're like, I've been doing this and I'm not seeing the results that I wanted. It's your
exactly.
why that's going to keep you going,
Exactly.
because at no point can you possibly let this ball drop, because you've got little girls that could
No, I can't.
potentially grow
Hmm.
up hating themselves and their hair because their mum
Hmm.
didn't get the information that you have to offer.
Exactly.
So you can't, this, it would be a disservice to the community if you stopped. So you're not going nowhere.
I'm not. You know, like sometimes people say to me, Novella, how do you do it? You have three kids, you're natural, taking care of your hair and their hair. This is why. This is
Mm,
why I make time to do their hair, because I have a bigger why. Most moms that, for example, that I coach or that I talk to, the moms that are successful share the same why. You know, they don't want
right,
their children to not be confident. They don't want their children to
right,
end up with relaxing their hair, wearing weaves all the time. They want their children to love themselves unapologetically. All the
yes,
moms that have this same why, they do what they have to do to ensure that their children's hair is flourishing because they have a bigger why. The moms that just want their children to just have long hair, they can't be consistent. They don't get why I'm still, you know, on this journey, even though my children's hair's past their waist. I'm doing this still because, like I said to you guys, I'm on a mission. That's why I'm doing it. That's why I have three kids, my own head of hair, my marriage, my home to care for. That's why I'm still able to dedicate my time to this, because my why is not just length.
it's deeper, it's
Hmm.
deeper. Beautiful, beautiful, amazing. I love this. So, what is the best piece of business advice that you have received thus far?
To be honest, the best piece of advice is to, if you don't know something, pay someone to help you.
Yes,
It
yeah,
sounds like very simple, but this is one of my biggest mistakes. When I had my last business, I live on lingerie, I paid nobody nothing.
right, right,
What I did was go on Google to help me.
yeah,
Where did I get 5 years later? Absolutely nowhere. Why? Because I was too tight. Why do I have to pay someone to tell me what to do when I can just Google it? The information is all there. Yeah, the information might be there. It's scattered. It's going to take me a while. Whereas I can pay someone, you know, they say success leaves clues.
yes,
Yeah. So why don't I pay someone who has already been there, done that, doing bigger, so they can tell me what they did so I can just tweak it or copy? I don't understand. So
yeah,
as soon as I got out of that attitude, that mindset of being so tight with my money,
yeah,
because obviously I wasn't, it's not like I'm rich or anything, so I was very cautious of what I was spending my money on. That was holding me back even more.
mm,
This time around, I'm telling you, so when I started Naturally Crowned UK, I've paid people every step of the way.
yeah,
See that woman that I said that I found on YouTube that time? I paid for a course. At that time, it was £500. No, $500, sorry. So it works out to be about 300, about £300.
mm,
I didn't have that spare, but I paid for it
mm-hmm,
because I'm not a YouTuber. I didn't know how to sit in front of a camera to talk. I didn't know what to say, how to structure things. I didn't know what camera to buy.
mm-hmm.
I didn't know anything about YouTube. So why am I going to waste my time watching thousands of YouTube videos when I can just pay someone who's already successful on YouTube? So I paid,
Mm, mm.
and I started my YouTube.
Yeah. I love that this is the piece of advice you're sharing. And I love it for two reasons. One, because I feel like, especially Black women, we have
Hmm.
this thing of, oh, I'll do it myself. I can do it. Just
Hmm.
one more, just
Hmm.
add one more
Hmm.
thing to my load. I can do it. I'll struggle
I'll do
through.
it. I'll do everything.
Yeah.
Nah,
And
I'm not
that's the
about that life.
yeah, that's the kind of
I'm not.
attitude. I don't know if we got it from
No.
our mums or if we just feel that the strong Black women thing. But yeah, we're just like, and yeah, we try to scrimp and save. We try to be
Hmm.
resourceful, and I'm
Yeah, but the
just
thing is,
like,
let me tell you something. One thing as well is, even though I didn't like spending money on like coaches or getting help, I would buy a dress or a shoe for £300
yeah,
easily. If I didn't have it, I would save and get it. Do you know what I mean?
yeah,
But when it comes to business, I just felt like I could figure it out myself. So now at this point in my journey, I've paid thousands,
same,
thousands,
exactly the same.
thousands.
And also,
Even my,
as a coach, and we're expecting people to pay us for our services, we've
exactly, but you don't want to pay
trained.
no one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So in
you
money
don't want
is
to
a
pay no one.
current. It's a current.
Exactly, it
You
goes
give.
round. If
Yes.
you're being so tight and holding it, you don't want to pay someone to help you, but you want people to pay for your services. That's really going to happen. It's not going to happen. And that's why I was struggling in my last business because I weren't paying no one to help me. So, yeah, small payment here and there from people, but nowhere near where it is today. So I paid, even my coach now, I've paid thousands to be
Same.
coached by her.
Yeah.
Why have I done that? Because I'm putting my money where my goals are. I
Yes.
know I don't know everything when it comes to business. I don't know much at all, to be honest. But I know where I want to get to with
Mhm.
this business. I know that I want to make an impact.
Mhm.
How am I going to do that if I don't have that knowledge? If my mom has never been an entrepreneur,
Yeah. Yeah.
how
And
do I figure it out?
it's so real what you're saying, and it speaks to our lack of financial education. The fact that spending, and this is what I say to my clients, like, it investing in your knowledge can't be
Hmm.
taken away. Someone can
Yeah,
rob you of your handbag or your shoes
exactly.
and leave you destitute. You spent all this money on this and it's been stolen, or you've lost
Hmm.
it. You left your
Hmm.
Gucci handbag in the club somewhere.
Hmm.
That £300 you're not getting. No, literally, someone can put you in jail and they cannot take your knowledge. Your knowledge is
No,
yours,
it's
and
yours.
it grows and it compounds. But we, as a community, well, I'm not going to blanket the whole community, but I'm saying that we see the value in shiny things, that the
Hmm.
proximity will make us feel good in the moment, but
Hmm.
investments are, there's a difference between an asset and an expense, and we really need to start understanding that you the best investment you can make is in
It's
yourself,
yourself. Yeah.
because you
It's
can
yourself.
make you money. And as soon
Hmm.
as I'm reframing my whole thinking around my ability to create, and that
Hmm.
is what being in employment for so long kind of took away from me. I was still very
Exactly.
connected to this,
Yeah. Yeah.
um, how much they valued me on exchanging my time for money,
For money. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
this going on this journey and working with women to get them back to a place of, okay, so this is who I am, these are my values, this is what's important to me. It just, it's become something that is bigger. It's so important because it's giving them knowledge to
Exactly.
go and create
Exactly.
what they want. So yeah, I think that
Exactly.
knowing the difference between
Exactly.
an asset and an expense is crucial.
Exactly.
Crucial for a business
Exactly.
person, but crucial for us as
Exactly.
a community. Is really,
Hmm.
really important that we start
I mean, for
thinking
me
about
now,
investments.
when I approach a coach or a mentor and they send me their pricing or we have a conversation, they tell me how much they charge. Obviously, I vetted the person so I know that they can get me to where I want to get to if I'm willing to put in the work. But I no longer say, I no longer get scared or just say immediately, I can't afford that, or your prices are too
Yes.
high. No, their prices aren't too high. Their prices aren't too high. You're not seeing the value in what they're giving you. If I had that mindset of every coach that I approach and said, your prices are too high, what is a higher price? Me being stuck in my 9 to 5, depressed, frustrated because I want to be home with my kids, or me paying someone those few thousands and now being here today doing my own thing, walking in my purpose. I think that price is actually quite cheap. So for me, what I say is, how can I make it happen? If I don't have the money, that's fine. I say to them, I don't have the money right now, but I'm gonna make it happen. If I have to save, I'll come back. And that's what I do. If I don't have it, I'll save. I come back. If I have it, I just pay it straight. I don't feel it because I know if I put in the work, if I follow their roadmap, I'm going to get the results I want to get to. And that's why sometimes when I speak to moms, I'm like, you're struggling with your child's hair. I have told you what I charge. You don't want to pay that price. You might think it's expensive. That's fine. It's up to you. You can stay where you are, still struggling with your child's hair. You can stay where you are, and maybe the next 10, 20 years, your child will not be confident because you didn't know how to take care of their hair. So now they have confidence issues because you didn't take that step, because you didn't realize that their hair care starts with you. You are their first hairdresser. You didn't realize all of that. You just saw that small price.
What is that? Why do you think it brings so much resistance when people hear the price of things? Because they don't say it to Louis.
No, they don't. Exactly.
They don't say it to Louis Vuitton.
There's some moms actually that had told me that I'm too expensive, but yet on their Instagram, that WizKids concert isn't £10. WizKids concert is way more than my coaching. But I was expensive, but they were at WizKids concert. Now, when someone tells me I'm charging too much, that tells me where they are mentally in their mind. I've been there, so I know. I told you guys I wasn't willing to pay more or nothing. You know, I've been there. So when you tell me you can't afford my pricing, some people really can't. That's fine. But if you want it to happen, you'll make it happen.
Yeah. Amen.
I'm not charging £1,000 to speak to you. You can save.
Yeah.
You can save and make it happen.
And it's a journey that I've been on. I remember when I invested my first, I think it started at 2,000 and then I'm up to 5,000 now. And now I just do it because it's just, I'm just like, it's an investment. Like the return on investment is going to be
way
there.
more than my university degree.
Yeah.
How much I pay for uni? This is worth way more than my university.
Because there's not, I don't suddenly, you don't forget to drive after you've learned to drive. You don't suddenly, and in fact, you just get better. So like, I'm just not the same person I was a few years ago, and I thank God for the amazing people that I've worked with and will continue to work with, because it's a no-brainer. It's good enough for Serena Williams and whoever else. Every high performance person you see has a coach.
Exactly. I don't know if you've noticed, but for me, when I put my money down, I work.
Of course.
If I have to get a service from you and it's free, I'm not going to do the work. I know myself.
Right.
When I pay thousands to work with a mentor, I'm going to put in the work because I can't be wasting money like that. So I'm going to put in the work. Those that pay, they work.
You pay attention. Real talk. Okay, so what is the downside of having your business that nobody talks about? Because I feel like we've spoken it up and I think it's important, but I want to give people the real tea. What is the downside that you can see?
I wouldn't really say it's a downside, but I'll say that maybe there's a side to it that isn't so pleasing to everyone. You may be put off if you found out about this. And I would say that one of the things is that it's quite lonely. You may come into this entrepreneurship world and you may find that no one's supporting you. Even your husband. I remember, like I said to you, I had that lingerie business before. And I remember when I came to my husband to tell him that I wanted to start to do this and become a hair coach, in his ears, he's thinking, you were just selling plus size lingerie. Where did this hair stuff come from? You know, he didn't know. But for me, it was like, you know what? God didn't give him this vision. He gave it to me. Of course, he can't see it.
Mm.
You know, I'm not going to be offended by it. Yeah, I was a little bit disappointed, but I realized that he doesn't have the vision. God gave it to me. Eventually, which he has now, he will see what I saw when I went to him that first time to tell him about this. He will see it eventually. So
Mm.
until then, I'm going to motivate myself. And that can be hard sometimes because a lot of us, we want support from our husbands, from our moms, from our sisters, from our
Mm.
friends. Some
Mm.
people get offended when, or hurt when, you know, friends don't purchase their products, when friends don't share their stuff on their Instagram page. Why should they? They don't understand what you're doing. They don't
That's
understand the
true.
mission, the vision. They're not going to.
Yeah, that's true.
Don't rely on your friends to don't let that be your motivation. For me, like I said to you, because I knew my why, I have friends who've never shared anything that I do. They haven't. They know what I do. They've never shared once. I don't care because
Mm.
that's not my mission. My
No.
mission is what I've told you guys before.
Mhm.
My mission is to ensure that I'm helping
Mhm.
moms
Mhm. Mhm.
to teach their children how to love their hair, how to love themselves unapologetically.
Mhm.
That is my main goal, to
Yeah,
love their natural hair. So
yeah.
whether you support me, that's what I said to my husband, whether you support me or not, I'm gonna do this
This is what's gonna
respectfully.
happen.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Yeah,
do this
yeah.
because I know what mission I'm on. So that's a hard thing, not having people supporting you. Also, another thing that can be quite of a downer is that you're not always going to be motivated. Even though I told you that this is my mission, my passion,
Mm.
sometimes I don't want to record a YouTube video.
Oh
You know,
gosh, yeah.
sometimes I don't want to show up live. Sometimes I don't want to answer someone's questions in my DMs.
Mhm.
Sometimes I just want to sleep all day. But I've learned to be disciplined.
Mhm.
It's no longer about motivation. I'm not motivated to do anything, if I'm going to be honest with you. I am disciplined. So
Mhm.
learning to
Mhm.
become that disciplined person
Mhm.
is something that you may find difficult in the beginning if you're not like that. And I wasn't like that. I wasn't a disciplined person. I'm
Mhm.
quite a lazy person, to be honest, naturally. So learning to become disciplined, learning
Mhm.
to be
Mhm.
my own cheerleader when no one really could see my vision or see where I was taking this, um, that can be a downer for some. And maybe for some, they may decide not to go on with the business because they're
Mhm.
not getting
Mhm.
that support from other
Mhm.
people.
Yeah, but that's why they need to invest in the right support. There's so much you've said there, which is brilliant. First of all, the downside where you don't have the support, it can be quite lonely. Yeah, it's weird, you know. Post a picture in a bodycon dress and heels. Everyone's like,
Yeah,
oh my god. When you're like, I'm bettering myself and my life and following my
exactly,
dreams, they're like,
exactly.
cool, but
Yeah,
how about the tied up dress? And that it's okay because you're connected to your why. And I feel like this is what I say to my clients, right? Because I've got a lot of mums who want to jump into this entrepreneurship journey because of being toxic workplaces. We know that we could get into a whole conversation about what it's like. So this extreme sport being a black woman in the workplace. You know what I mean? You have to
exactly,
be. It's
exactly.
it's a minefield out there. But yeah, I kind of have to make sure that they've done the mindset piece before jumping into the
Before, and
business
that's
piece.
important.
There's
Yeah,
something about the emotional maturity, the why,
yeah.
the motivating factor behind what you're doing. Because if you're doing it
Hmm.
so people will say, oh my gosh, she's doing really well, then this ain't it for
Exactly.
you, because they're
It's
not
not
gonna.
for you.
That's not. This is not the road if that's
Exactly.
what you
It's not
want.
for you.
So
Hmm.
there's a mindset piece before, and it doesn't look. It's important that we hear your journey, but your journey is your journey,
Exactly.
and it's
It's
important
your
that we
journey.
do that work to. I did a session on values with your membership group, because I feel like before we go into all of the other stuff, it's just like, who are you? What is important to
Hmm.
you? At some point, you
Hmm.
have to say, oh, it's not about, oh, that looks really good, maybe I'll try that. By all means, try different things, but
Yeah.
you're still going to have to get connected to what it is for you. So it's not coming from a place of, I really want you guys to think that I'm good. And then the second thing you said, what was your second point? Validation from other people and
discipline over motivation.
discipline over motivation. I saw a couple of comments that I want to pick up on. Came here to learn about hair, but I'm getting a whole life seminar. Yes, we like to go deep.
Oh god, sorry guys if this is too deep, but I gotta say it.
We love it. But yeah, no, I love that discipline over motivation. Again, I talk about toxic positivity a lot in my work, and you know, I love the self-care movement. It's really important, but it really is about doing it when you don't feel like it, and just having a structure that holds you. Look how your children appreciate structure. You know, they might fight against it, they might not like when it's bedtime, but
they need it. They need it. Even when it comes to like my children's hair, it's the same approach. I'm not always motivated to do their hair. Most times I don't even want to do anyone's hair, let alone my hair, but I'm disciplined. Disciplined. Another thing as well that I find some people may find a downer is that imposter syndrome is real. So for me, it's funny because I have so many receipts. Like I have thousands of receipts, before and after pictures. I have thousands of messages from moms thanking me, you know, for helping them, comments on YouTube. But then there's some times where I'm just like, what do I know? Like, why are people even listening to me? You know, is this going to work? You know, you release an ebook, or you do something and you start doubting yourself, or you feel like you're a fraud, that eventually someone's going to find out that you actually don't know anything about anything, and you're going to get caught out. But then joining like memberships or groups or programs of like-minded entrepreneurs, they will tell you that this is something that's very normal. Like, we all go through it, all of us, even your top business people out there, they feel like imposters sometimes. You know, it's normal. You might feel that way and allow those voices in your head telling you that you're not good enough, you're not going to make it, no one's going to buy your services. And that might stop you. That might stop you in your tracks. But for me, yeah, I still hear it. You know, yeah, I've got loads of receipts, but I keep going. I keep going. Because obviously I do know what I'm talking about. I don't know everything. No one can know everything about a particular subject. But I know what I'm talking about, you know, so I have to kind of kick those voices to one side, you know, tell them to get thee behind me, Satan, you know, and just keep going. So for you, if, you know, you start this journey, that could be another downer for you, knowing that you're hearing these voices telling you you're not good enough, you don't know nothing, and, you know, falling for that and stopping what you're doing because of those voices.
Yeah, and I see this a lot. This is why I say it's connected back to self-esteem and belief, because, and I always like, if I could have for one day the confidence and entitlement of a cis white man to just go to a room and just be like, but I feel like I do now, because I walk in my skin, but I feel like so much of, you know, what holds us back is the lack of belief, and the lack of belief comes from the ether. From young, we've kind of been picking up information from the images we see in the media, and, you know, this and that, and who the hot girl is, the pretty girl, and who the boys fancy, and blah 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 blah. There's a lot of information that we don't realize on a subconscious level our brain is processing, and that all feeds into what we believe we can create. And that's why, so our work is so different, but it's aligned in the sense that we're here to connect women to their essence, the trueness of who they are, so that you build yourself up brick by brick internally and have that relationship with that person that's looking back in the mirror, whether that's via your hair, or whether that's via doing the inner work and unpacking and doing that, because, you know, that belief in what you're capable of that's why imposter syndrome comes up, because it's natural to a certain extent.
Yeah, yeah,
But a lot of the time, what really sabotages us is that lack of belief, that feeling that we don't belong, that feeling that we
exactly,
can't.
exactly.
And I saw a comment up here: how do you vet education sources, education sources, mentors to avoid scammers? Ask, do your
Receipts,
research.
yeah, receipts. All of my mentors that I've worked with, I did my research and checked that they had receipts. Like for example, for me, if you want to work with me, all of my receipts are there from when I started. They're all up there for you to see, you
Mm,
know, or speak to someone.
mm,
Someone must have worked with me before, you
mm.
know. Do your research. You will find whether they're credible or not.
Yeah, yeah. I always post testimonials, and I force myself to do it,
Mhm.
because it's really important just
Important.
to,
Another thing actually as well is that you want to work with someone that has already got the results you want.
yeah.
Like I say to people, I'm not going to book a hair coach that either doesn't have hair themselves. Let's just take they don't have any kind of illnesses or anything like that. Their hair is growing fine. They don't have hair. Their child doesn't have hair. But you want to coach me on how to care for my child's hair, but you yourself, you don't have the results with your hair or your child's hair. Why would I book you?
Mm,
You know? I want to be that representation. I want to be that example. So when you come to me, I can tell you, look at my hair. It hasn't always been here, but I'm here today. Look at my daughter's hair.
mm,
Look how long it is. Look at my son's hair. Now I have a 1 year old. Give me 3 years, the hair will be down to her bum too. I've done it so many times, I know exactly what to do. So
mm.
if you want to book someone or work with someone, they have to have achieved the results themselves. Like you can't be, I'm a 6 figure coach, but you've never made 6 figures. How are
Right.
you going to teach me how to get to 6 figures when you haven't even been to going to £100 from a client?
Mm,
Is that possible?
mm, absolutely. Like, be real. That's why authenticity is so key.
Mhm.
Like, see if you resonate with them first of all, and because I can tell so much by some listening to someone speak and listening to their energy and their vibe. And once you have that
Mhm.
resonance, check for receipts and ask them outright. I've
Exactly.
asked people have literally asked me, what are your qualifications, and I will tell them straight up. And if they need to see actual certificates, that's absolutely fine. I get it, like,
Mhm, mhm.
it's really scamming
But
is really real.
even with that qualification, sometimes we don't all have qualification. We have
Mm,
experience. Like for example, when I started
mm,
this business, I wasn't qualified to be a hair coach. I didn't have a hair care certificate. I didn't have a certificate on natural hair. Like I didn't have any certificates. I remember someone actually asked me, they said to me, what certificates do you have, like to show that you know what you're talking about, qualified to talk about what you're talking about? And I said, I don't have any certificates. What I have is experience, results, and evidence. I can show you that. You know, a lot of us are not going to have that qualification. I didn't go to school for this. I didn't go to university
mhm,
for this. This is something that
mhm,
is my passion, is my mission, and I have the
mhm,
experience. You know, if I
mhm.
didn't have, customers or clients with results, I have myself, I have my children. So those that are starting off, you may not have receipts yet, but you have yourself. Make sure you are that first example.
Yeah, you're your first client. You're your first
Exactly.
client.
If you can do it for yourself, you can help someone else.
Absolutely. And you only actually need to be a few steps ahead of them, and to have in something to teach to move them from A to B.
Exactly.
But the
Exactly.
important thing is vibe check people. Like, I
Exactly.
work with people who I resonate with, and that sounds like it's that really.
Very
And I'm
true.
like,
Yeah.
I
You
always
have
say
to
to
get that
people,
vibe. Yeah.
check your resistance, because a lot of the time it's just
Yeah.
habitual fear of not wanting to move forward. Hey, Miss Nora, how you
Mhm.
doing? It's just that
Mhm.
habitual, like, and that is something you need to work through,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
that's a information that your body is tight, and you're holding back.
Mhm.
What is
Mhm.
that? What is that about?
Mhm.
How are you going to
Mhm.
release yourself from that? Because as much as you're suspicious of XYZ, where else are you suspicious in your world, and how much does that stop you from taking steps forward? You know, at some point you're gonna need to take a leap of faith, but you can take an informed
Exactly.
leap of faith. But don't
Exactly.
let
And someone
fear.
said before, use wisdom too. Yeah. Pray about it if you need
Amen.
to.
Amen. Amen. Wow. Okay, so it's pretty much 10 and I've got through half of my questions, but I'm going to go jump to the important ones because it has
Okay.
been really deep. You know, it has been really deep. But I think it's been so valuable to actually speak so candidly about mindset, and
Mhm.
you know, I feel like that's been the conversation. That's where it needed to go, rather than, you know, what are the steps, what are your journey, what are the benefits. It's genuinely about where is your mind at, where do you want to get to, and what help can you enlist to help you get
Exactly.
there, you
Hmm.
know. So first I'm going to ask you one penultimate question, which is, how do you balance wellness with your success and being a mum of three?
I think when it comes to success, everyone's definition of success is different. For me, success means being able to be home with my
Mm,
children,
mm,
do
mm,
what I want to do when I want to do it,
mm,
live my purpose, be creative, and also make an impact in this world. You know,
mm,
it doesn't matter how big the impact is, I'm already making impacts. I'm
mm,
at home, I'm where I want to be with
mm,
my kids.
mm,
That shows me I am successful. To
mm.
me, that is success. So balancing everything, I'm going to be totally honest, it's hard. It's hard, especially when you have three children, you have a home, you have a husband, you have to cook, you have to clean, and then you have to look good as well. It's hard, you know.
Mm,
But in all honesty, there's some areas as I was building this business that I had to switch my focus from. There had to be some sacrifice. So I had to sacrifice sleep. That's not healthy. It's not part of the wellness.
mm,
Sleeping is good for you. But there was a certain time when I was building this business that I couldn't sleep. Like I said to you before, I would stay up until 4 a.m. and I'll be up at 6 a.m. on the
mm.
bus to work.
Oh.
It was a sacrifice for a short time, but I'd
Mm,
rather sacrifice sleep to achieve my goals, you
mm,
know.
mm,
There were times where I'd be so busy in a day that I wasn't able to read a bedtime story to my kids because
mm,
there's so many things I had to do. Or by the time I put them in bed, maybe I have a live session at 8, or maybe I have a class to teach at 8. Do you know what
mhm.
I mean? So I would have to sacrifice certain things, but I knew that it wasn't going to be for a long time. It was for a period of time while I was building my business.
Yeah.
So now I'm able to be much more organized, have a plan. So for me, basically, the way I'm able to manage and balance everything is I have to plan. I have to be organized. I have to know what I'm doing, when I'm doing it.
Yeah.
Before I go to bed, even
Yeah.
on the Sunday, I plan out my whole week. I know
Me
what's happening, what I'm
too.
going to do. Yeah. When it comes to our
Right.
wash days, I have my planner. I plan it out. I know when our wash days are coming. So everything, if it's not
Crucial.
in my diary or in my planner, it's not happening.
Same. Same.
Exactly.
This is where
Even
success leaves
self-care days.
clues. This is Marie
Exactly.
Forleo, Stephen Covey, all of these
Exactly.
guys. This is fundamentally
Exactly.
what I teach in
Exactly.
terms of forward planning. Like, be a friend to your future self.
Exactly. So for me, um, knowing when I'm going to do certain things has really helped. Just being organized. Like I said to you before, guys, naturally, I'm a lazy person. I love my sleep. I can sleep the whole day. Like, trust me, that's just me. But doing this in order to achieve certain things, discipline, having a plan, even like my self-care days, taking care of me, I have to put it in my plan so that it
Yeah.
happens. Part of
Yeah.
my self-care is doing my hair.
Yeah.
That's part of my self-care. So I have to plan it in order for it to happen. So yeah, that's how I'm able to juggle things because
Mhm.
even like when it comes to cooking,
Mhm.
on Sunday, I know what I'm cooking. I usually do like my food shopping during the week on a Monday.
Mhm.
So on that Sunday, I know what I'm cooking, 4 meals for the week. When I'm home on that Monday, I'm bashing out that 4 meals I'm cooking for the family for the week. that
Wow.
keeps me organized, so that during the week I don't have to be worrying
Exactly. And
about
it's
what we're going
just,
to eat.
yeah, yeah,
That's a
yeah.
headache. I don't have time for that.
No.
So planning that out, and then planning our hair days, my self-care days, all of these things, that's how I'm able to juggle it, by
Yeah.
planning it and just forward thinking, like you said.
Woman after my own heart. I'm fully an advocate for that structure. That's a big part of my program, actually. That's a whole
Hmm.
module. And you know, I swear by it, I live by it, and
Hmm.
it's so important. And I think that's a real golden nugget that you're leaving us with. So where can people find you?
For me, you can find me here on Instagram, Naturally Crowned UK. You can find me on YouTube, Naturally Crowned UK. Those are my two main platforms, YouTube and Instagram. So you can find me there. If you're a mom and you're struggling to care for your child's hair, you want to go from that place where you're overwhelmed, frustrated, feeling like a failure because you don't know how to care for your child's hair. You want to get to that point where, you're proud, you're happy, you are confident in caring for your child's hair so that you can teach your child to love their hair themselves unapologetically, and also change their hair story and create new generational cycles, then send me a DM and we can talk. However, if you're not serious, guys, please don't. Please don't DM me. Just continue with my YouTube videos, watch my posts on Instagram. But if you're really serious on making a change, then send me a DM and we'll talk.
I love it. That's amazing. So you can just click to follow Novella on her page. Her page really is full of receipts, but also really powerful information. So if you want the free information, it's there. But if you're serious and you really want to make this a yes, the live will be on my page. If you're serious and you really want to go on this journey of looking after your children's hair and building it into your life, then start working with her. Like I say, like, stop holding back on yourselves, mummies. Let's crack on. Let's get the support we
Let's do
need.
this.
Absolutely. And likewise, you can click my name if you've not done so already, or if you don't know me. I work with women on their wellness and success journey. I've come from a business coaching background, and we're now supporting women with their emotional wellness, aligning them with their true purpose so that they can turn their life around and live a more full and happy and grounded life. So it has honestly been such a beautiful life, man. We've gone deep and we've gone broad. It has been real. It has been
I've
very, very,
enjoyed it.
very real.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thank you for sharing your story. You've honestly given us so much, so many gems. And yeah, I'll be posting this on my page, so please share it. I think it's really nice for your audience to see a different side of you, really kind
I
of,
know, right? They don't usually
yeah,
see this side of me. I
yeah,
know.
yeah. No, I think that's really, really, really
I know.
powerful. So yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you. And thank you, ladies, for joining.
Yes, thanks for being here, ladies. Until next time, take care.
Bye.
Bye. See you.
Take care.
Bye.